The spray will absorb by the time this ad is done.
I can't wait to be asleep in 90 minutes.
Thanks to your digestive system, pills take up to 2 hours to kick in.
Dr. Stevens?
Try this. Sublingual sprays go into your tongue and absorb in as little as 30 seconds. And they're up to 4 times more effective than pills. Bluegrass Precision Wellness Sprays. Energy, sleep, immunity, hair and nail support. Same vitamins, faster, more effective delivery.
If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson drives for every dime.
Welcome to Simply the Law of Life, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Simply the Law of Life provides free legal advice and encourages happiness and quality of life. Now, here's Simply the Law of Life with Gary C. Johnson and Keith Casebolt.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to Simply the Law of Life. I'm Keith Casebolt. Don't change the channel. It's okay. It's Gary Johnson and me back together again.
Absolutely. We're back. We're back.
My goodness, my friend. Listen, it's been about, 4.5 years, maybe 5. It was like at the start of the pandemic. And you and I, we had done so many shows together. The pandemic came and we thought we'd said everything that we could say to our friends. And we've been away for a while.
But we're back. That's the main thing, and we're going to be here for a while, hopefully.
Well, you know what? I hope so, because I'm going to tell you something. I missed our friends. Everywhere I would go, I would have people come up to me and they'd say, okay, has Gary moved to Florida? Has he left? I said, no, he's working more now than he's ever worked in his life. He's doing what he does best, which is the law. And they were like, well, I miss you guys on the television. You used to have great conversations with us about life. And Gary, there were so many things that you taught, and I see your book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that people would come up to me and say, I needed that word of encouragement that Gary gave us.
The thing I want to say to you folks is I realized I need this show as bad as maybe anyone else does, because it makes me go back and redo this. It makes me go back and realize how important it is my friends are. And it makes me realize by thinking about this how bad we need each other.
Amen. You just now hit, if you get nothing else out of this show, what you just said may be the most important thing. We do need each other.
We can't survive without each other. And this book, again, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, was written in 1936. It's still, in my opinion, the most important book on human relations that's ever been written. And I'll tell you point blank, go buy it. It's pretty cheap. If you can't afford it, email me at Gary C. Johnson, and I'll send you a copy. I'll buy it for you. How's that? It's that important. Those of you that don't really need it will take it and you'll cherish it and you'll use it. Okay? Those of you that need it desperately will probably pick it up and throw it aside.
I got to ask you something, because I'm 27 years in with you now. I'm going on the 3 decades, and I hope the good Creator will keep us here another 20 or 30 years together. How many of those books have you bought over the years that you have given away to people to help them with?
Hundreds. Literally hundreds of them. And I'm hoping that because of that I have made... You know, folks, misery loves company. If you do this, you won't be miserable anymore. It's that simple. You will think about what you're doing. You'll not criticize, condemn, and complain. You'll give honest and decent appreciation for the things that's going on around you. You won't seek out people that are miserable. You'll seek out people that are happy. You'll seek out, and you'll attract people, and you'll attract things to you that makes you feel good. If you do these things, trust me, there's enough misery in this world. You don't have to be part of it.
Gary, you and I were talking before the lights came on and our favorite table and the show started. And you said, Keith, here's the facts. We've had pandemics. We've had floods. We've lost loved ones over the last 4 or 5 years. We've got wars. We've got high gas prices. You said there's a lot of problems out there that can make people unhappy, and we've got to do everything that we can to fight those off.
If you're miserable because you've just lost a loved one, then there's nothing probably you can do about that. However, anything else you can change. You can choose to not be miserable. Now you say, well, Gary, that's easy for you to say because you've got all of this. I didn't always have all of this, okay? But I chose when I was very young to live a life, hopefully, of not being miserable. And it's worked out pretty well for me, and it will for you too. You don't have to be miserable unless you've lost a loved one, and if you've lost a loved one, there's nothing you can do about it except wait it out.
You know, even with that, I want to tell you something. One of the little passages that you gave me to read, Joy and Sorrow, when I lost my father, my hero, I went immediately to that passage and I read it. Because the sorrow and the hurt that you feel when you lose somebody you love is in direct proportion to the amount of joy and the love that that person meant to you. And you know what? It was okay to cry. I cried like a baby.
When you're miserable because you've lost a loved one, rejoice in it. Embrace it. Because you're miserable because of all the joy that that person gave you in this world. And don't belittle that joy by not understanding that.
Yeah, so in that instance, the harder you grieve, that's in direct proportion to the amount that you loved and the joy that that person brought you.
Absolutely. But again, on a more bright subject, you don't need to be miserable. You don't have to be miserable. Misery is a choice. You say, well, what about my circumstances? My circumstances are such. No. Back up. Understand. How many times in your life, my friends, have you whined and cried and slung it and all of this stuff about something that made you feel bad, to look back on it 6 months or a year later and realize it didn't matter? So you try to remember when you're getting ready to do that, say to yourself, well, 6 months from now, is this really going to matter? And once you do that, you'll say, well, okay, no big deal. And move on.
Yeah, what'd you say? If it's still a problem after 6 months, you more than likely have a problem.
Right, it might matter, but otherwise.
You know what gets me, Gary, when you say those things, how many of all of us that we've gone through life and we've had this dreaded fear of this big thing that was going to happen, only to find out that it never did happen, but yet we punished ourselves and we worried about this thing that never come to pass.
I tell people anymore, I say, just remember, when you start feeling those things, say to yourself, it doesn't matter. And then if you can understand that and adopt it, you will live and you die, and you're on this rock for generally a very short period of time. So what really matters, what really truly matters, is how do you live this life and how do you feel? Do you choose to be miserable, or do you choose to enjoy the beautiful sunshine, your friends and the people around you, and the world? It's an easy choice for me. If you'll embrace it, I promise you, my friends, it's an easy choice for you.
You know, and listen, Maybe it's because you and I have gotten a little bit older, but the one thing that you got me to doing a few years ago was you said, Keith, when you wake up, start out with thank yous. Thank you, my eyes opened. Thank you, I'm here. Thank you, I can stand up. Thank you that I've got a toothbrush to brush my teeth. Thank you, I've got teeth. You said if you go through all the thank yous and the blessings that you have to start the day, whenever one problem comes up, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Never is. I want to talk one thing on the law that I ran into yesterday. This woman called from Louisville looking to see if she could get an opinion on a situation she had, but she said, I was in a wreck and I got hit by a big truck, and when I went to a chiropractor, this lawyer came and had me sign some papers. And he called me and told me he could get me $2,000. And I guess the point I'm making to you is research your lawyers before you hire them. And just because you're somebody's office and some lawyer comes, which he's not supposed to do that for one thing, don't sign those things until you do some research, because if you've really been hurt, you need a good lawyer that knows what they're doing, that's not going to call you up when you may have a $200,000 or $300,000 case and tell you he's going to get you $2,000. Okay? I just thought I'd point that out to you.
Yeah, now I'm glad you did bring that up, because we started out this program about being happy and being thankful and everything like that. But there are some instances that can rob you from that happiness. And those instances, if you've been run over, if you've been horribly injured, and heaven forbid, Gary, if you don't have adequate insurance to protect yourself.
Well, I've said on the program many times, and I'll say it again, if you can afford it, buy all of the underinsured motorist coverage that they will sell you on your own insurance. Many people that are careless and don't watch what they're doing and run over you are the same people that buy a policy that's only got $25,000 on it. If you've bought underinsurance on your coverage that will cover you, then there's another place for you to get money to cover you for your injuries. So please, it's UIM, Underinsured Motorist, UIM, if you can afford it. If you don't have, check your policy. If you don't have it, it's really not that expensive compared to the actual liability part of it. So if you can afford it, for heaven's sakes, get UIM insurance coverage on your own policy.
Yeah, I know with the gas prices, Gary, and the cost of everything right now, people are trying to save as much money as they can. But if you're in an accident, what did you tell me the odds are of somebody that hits you even being covered or having more than just the bare minimum? Is it like 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 of the vehicles?
Well, no, everybody has to have it at the minimum in order to be on the road, unless they're a drunk driver or somebody that's just a pure. Generally, there will be at least 25,000.
But that doesn't go a long way.
That's not your emergency room visit anymore. Is the problem with that? It's so your medical bills are going to eat it alive, and you're going to end up in a world of hurt most of the time when someone runs over you, unless you've bought coverage on your own insurance that would give you some hope of coming out on the situation.
Is that the biggest misconception that people have, Gary, is that if somebody does them wrong and they run over them, and it's no fault of your own, that there is this big pot of gold that they can come to you and you're going to be able to access?
I know when I was growing up, there was a saying, sue a beggar and catch a louse. And it's the truth. Most people that have very small limits on insurance don't have any assets you can take. They don't have anything. If they had more money, they'd have probably bought more insurance. So you're stuck with whatever the coverage is going to be. You know, unless it's a big company. If it's a big company, that's a different story altogether. If you're in a wreck, seriously, where that there's a large truck or a large company that hits you, then you need to be extremely careful who you hire as your attorney, because there's going to be a whole lot of money to be going after, and you need somebody that knows how to get it. It's that simple.
Now there's where we go into just telling the facts of life. The facts of life are, if there's a lot of money at stake, then the defense and the insurance company is going to fight harder than hell to keep it. And you're going to have someone that knows the ropes and has the ability. Now, let's talk about that, because board certified. Would you go into a little bit about why it's so important to be a board certified attorney?
Well, I got board certified several years ago, and it's a rigorous thing you go through in order to prove, literally, to independent board that you know what you're doing, that you know the law, you know how to, you have to show them actual trials that you've been in where you have actually got verdicts. And it's in order to become board certified. Very few lawyers are board certified. That's it.
I asked you, you and I were having a conversation, and I said, so Gary, why is it important for me to have a board certified attorney? And your comeback was about my doctor or surgeon, and what did you say?
Well, I said, Keith, if you had a choice between a doctor, one was board certified and one wasn't, which one would you want to operate on?
Yeah, I think I would take the doctor that's board certified.
You would hope.
So here we are making decisions, sometimes based upon commercials, sometimes based upon the reference of a brother-in-law or whatever, and our entire lives are at stake. I mean, it's going to be the most important thing that probably happens to you.
Well, any lawyer can advertise, okay? And they do. The question before you hire a lawyer, simply you need to ask, tell me the jury verdicts that you've had where you've actually proven you can take my case to trial in front of a jury and win. Don't tell me you can win, okay? Show me where you have won. That's the key to it. Because any lawyer can say, oh, I can win, except they never have.
Very important. And that comes back to another point. Many of you may not know this, but this man, Gary C. Johnson, holds the record in the state of Kentucky for the largest personal injury verdict.
That's a few years ago. But it helped me get board certified too.
But that's you going in and saying to the insurance company, if you don't want to do the right thing by my client, I'm going to take you into court, I'm going to present the facts, and I'm going to let the jury force you to do the right thing.
You don't understand, maybe folks you don't understand, but it is a lot of work to prepare a case for trial. It's a lot of work to represent someone that's been injured if you do the job. Any lawyer can settle a case for a fraction of what it's worth. They can ask, okay, I'll get you $2,000, you know. But if you get, I've always said to everybody in my office, we take a case, we prepare it for trial. Okay? Simple. We never prepare a case to settle. Now, as a result of that, just about all of our cases end up settling.
So you actually take the opposite approach. You take the approach, I'm going to trial no matter what. If you want to come in and do the right thing and give the full value, okay.
That's right.
We'll take that.
And literally, now, after my history, probably 99.9% of our cases settled before trial.
So,
simply because, but they're ready to go to trial.
Now that brings up another point. So you're sitting here telling the people you need to research your attorney and you need to look at who you're hiring. But the fact of the matter is, we do know somebody who's researching the attorneys, the insurance companies. They know who you are, they know your record, and they know your trial experience.
Well, that is a fact and it's helped us settle cases. That's that, I've been at this business a long time. Probably about time maybe for me to retire, but except I love it so much I can't.
Well, it's
I
who you
love
are.
representing people.
Yeah. What was it? One time sometimes Gary and I are doing stuff and I'll ask him a question, and one of the best things I think you ever said on the program was you said, Keith, I don't golf, I don't fish. What I do is the law. It's who you are, and it's what you do.
Well, I've never, actually, when I grew up on the head of the holler, we didn't have time to golf and fish. We didn't even know what it was, basically, because we were plowing with the old mule and trying to survive. So I never did get into any of that, ever, okay? So when I got into law, that's all I know. That's all I've ever done. But anyhow, let's talk about you and how we are going to try to talk you into being happy, okay? That's the main thing, folks. Please get the book. If you can't afford it, email me at gary@garycjohnson.com. I will mail you one. Okay?
Now, on that happiness, here's something that I want our friends to know. You have told me time and time again that you've had clients come in here, Gary, with horrific injuries, and they would be the most upbeat, and they were looking at, thankful that they were alive. And you said these people were a shining example to you, that if anyone had a reason to be bitter and to be angry, but they were so happy that even though they had horrible injuries, but they're still here, they're alive. They were thankful to be here.
Well, it's an actual situation right now where the defense is saying, in the case we've got, that this man continued to work out. He continued to try to stay physically fit. He's continued to do everything that he can possibly do because it's a requirement that he has to meet in order to keep his job. The defense is saying because he's doing these things, that his case has little or no value. I'm taking the position that because he's struggling and suffering because of this, and being a man, taking care of his family, that makes his case worth more.
I agree with you 100%, because if anything, from our region, our people have pride. They have self-worth. Mm-hmm. They want to be independent. Losing the independence is the worst thing that can happen to them. I mean, we know that.
Well, I've made my mind up. I'm going to try that case.
Yeah.
I really am.
Didn't you have an example one time where an individual picked up his grandbaby or something like that, and the defense attorney wanted to come out and say, oh, look, he was able to pick up his 2-year-old grandchild. He's not that hurt. Mm-hmm. I mean, to say something for a grandfather or a grandmother whose only enjoyment in life may be that 2-year-old grandchild that gives them just a brief moment of not thinking about pain, and you would use that against them?
We run into it all the time. Anything, it's a meanness out there that they try to tap into. That if you get somebody that's miserable, then they can tap into that meanness part of it and try to get them to diminish the pain and suffering and misery that another human being has gone through. And that's why I'm saying to you folks, don't fall into that trap. Don't be miserable. If you don't have to be miserable. It's a wonderful world. It's so wonderful, and your family and everything. Enjoy it.
You and I actually were in the car riding the other day, and we had some windshield time to talk, and that's one of the things that we talked about, social media, Facebook. there's a lot of meanness on there, and there's a lot of hatred, and they're using a tool that could be so good to spread good things, and there's hatred on it.
But my friends, if you're watching this program, you're not going to do that anymore, are you? You're going to be happy. You're not going to be miserable. And like I say, if you've lost a loved one, you need to rejoice in the fact that the feelings you have and the hurt you have is in direct proportion to the joy that you had having that person in your life. How many of you, if you're in that situation, would give anything to go back and make sure you never said a harsh word to that person? Huh?
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you now, stop ever again to say a harsh word to anybody. Dale Carnegie, don't ever criticize, condemn, or complain. It doesn't do any good, and it just makes you feel bad, and it sure makes the other person feel bad.
So now would be a good time for the person who's sitting next to you on the couch to reach over, give them a little hug, and say, I really appreciate you.
That's right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in my life. You know, what's wrong with that? It doesn't demean you in any way, and it's a fact. If you don't have someone in your life, you can be miserable if you're alone. You don't have to be alone. Smile. Get out here and make some friends. But do not wallow in the misery. Please don't. You don't have to. And get away from that phone and all of that social media that's going to drag you down to nothing. You don't have to do it. Be happy.
You know, I got to agree with you, my friend. We've only got about 1.5 minutes left on the program, but I got to agree with you. At the top of this program, you said, we're back doing this program because I think we need it.
Oh, yes,
as much, if not more, than anybody else. And our friends that have been out there wondering where we've been, we took a little break. But let me tell you something. We missed you. We missed doing this program. I miss talking about this book. I miss talking about all the good things in life. And my friend, most of all, I miss being here with you.
Keith, like I said when we started the program, I needed this program. I needed to have to refresh my memory and go back and look at the things that helped me become what I am. And it's amazing, as Dale Carnegie says, your memory, ooh, the older you get, the harder it gets to remember the things you need to remember. And I needed the program.
Well, just going through the tips that you've given me, I'm like you. It's a refresher course maybe for all of us. If you've only tuned in for the very first time, hopefully something that was said that will resonate with you and to all of our friends. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, reach out to us. You can reach Gary at GaryCJohnson.com. Let us know you got a chance to see the program, and hopefully we'll be seeing you every Monday night at this same time.
My email is Gary at GaryCJohnson.com. It comes directly to me. It's not filtered in any way, okay? And like I say, if you can't afford this book and you want one, email me, and there'll be one coming in the mail. Give me your address.
Friend, it was good to be back.
It was.
On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thank you so much for tuning in and giving us this opportunity to be with you again. Until next Monday night, this is Simply the Law of Life.
Thank you for watching Simply the Law of Life, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Until next week, may you be safe, blessed, and happy.
Our wellness sprays work in as little as 30 seconds, but you have to spray them under your tongue. We can't stop you from spraying your face, but we can help you get up to 97% absorption. Again, tongue. Energy, sleep, immunity, hair and nail support. Bluegrass Precision Wellness. Faster, more effective absorption.